Hey guys, it's Chris you're seeing here back from C&H Small Engine Grass Cutting here for an informative video. Video right now got deals with firearms. I'm dealing with I'll show you here. The video deals with like Mosin eggs, like M44, M38, the old 1891 variants as well too. I'm going to be talking about the details of your bolts, your bolt assemblies. You see right in front of me here, I have a couple of good used bolt assemblies. I'm going to show you how to take them apart, and also how to check your head gap space on here where the firing pin protrudes from the head space right here as well too, from the actual head part of the bolt right here as well. So basically your firearm includes, I'd say, about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces of main parts right here for it. And it's very easy to take apart if you don't know how to do it yourself. There's one thing: once you take it apart and put it back together, you must have the parts in the back here lined up. They have a little notch in the back where it must be lined up all the time on their floor, because you don't want to miss a line in the back right there for that. So basically, in order to take these things apart, all you have to do is simply rotate this thing clockwise, and you pull it straight up out of here like so. Let me see here. Pull it straight, pull the head piece right here, and your extractor built into right there. And that exposes your firing pin right here. Your firing pin is slightly raised, or slightly concave, or we want to call it slightly round part on the end right here. Then the next part, you slide your other part out here that holds the bolt head right here to the main caulking piece right here, the rear caulking piece, plus the bolt body right here as well. So now you're at the last position where you want to take your spring mechanism out of the main bolt body on there for that. In order to do that, you simply have to push the bolt down on a table, a piece of wood, and you push down and you spin the thing counterclockwise as I'm doing right here. There we go. And it's going to be quite hard to put down here because you have a bolt that's under tension right here because you have a pretty heavy spring inside here like so. So you spin that counterclockwise and the thing comes apart. So you have your main pieces. You have your rear caulking piece right here. You have your firing pin assembly right here. It has the threads in the back here to screw in the caulking piece. Then there's slips over top of that is your spring mechanism. And you have your main bolt body as it's facing forward like so. And you have your front bolt head right here with the extractor still inside it as well. And your other part right here where the bolt mechanism holds together too, that holds the whole bolt mechanism together with the head piece and the bolt body as well too in here. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You have 6 major components for your bolt assembly right there for that. I got some grease on this thing, so I gotta clean it up anyway. So that's basically what it includes for all the main parts right there for you. Let me shut this door over here. It's getting blown out here a bit. Okay, there we go. That's better. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so we'll review. You have your rear caulking piece right there. You have your firing spring mechanism pin, or the firing spring I should say, then your firing pin basically fits over your pin right here, so like that, see? And you have your main bolt body with your handle on here you pull back and caulk it with. You have your front bolt part here with the firing pin extrudes from that. And you have your other last part that holds the entire thing together on here. You hold your caulking part right there, so, and that. So you got 6 major parts right there to make up your whole firing pin as it is right here. So next part is I'll show you how to reassemble this thing here. As you see, I already have the firing pin with the spring already on, and these things have to be under tension when you put them back together. So what you do is you take your caulking, or I should say your main bolt body here in one hand, and you take your spring assembly, you put it down over top your bolt, your firing pin, as you see right here, and you slide that up inside here so it has the thread sticking out on the end right here as it is. And the next part is you push this down with one hand, and you have to get a real hard base to push it against. So we see that piece of block wood here. There we go, that'll work. Get this thing out of the way over here. And you set that down like so. And you push it down on top of there, and you have the caulking piece on the left hand, so I'm using my left hand to push it down on here. And when you want to do that, you want to hold it nice and tight, because if you do not hold it tight on here, it can possibly flap and hit you in the eye. And so you have to always be careful when you put these things back together, because the spring will be under high tension to do it. So push that down. And once you do that, you'll have your two notches on top of the caulking piece right here. They have to be lined up once you have it back together. So we'll put it back down together here, and I'll show you how it's going to go. Push that down. Spin this thing over about 1, 6, 7, 8, 9. You have to make sure it's flush with the head caulking piece on there. So right now it's basically flush right there. You can see it right there. I can just turn it maybe about a couple degrees, so the head piece lines up with the firing pin inside of it. The notch part has to line up, so it's flush with it. You don't want it sunk below the level. You don't want it sticking up on it either too for that. So you want it nice and flush. The next part is take your other part of your bolt right here. You see it right here, the bolt head keeper, I call it right there. I can't remember what the technical term is, but that's what I call it. And you slide it on here just like so. It has a little groove in the back here. This is where it fits that in the back, on the backing caulking piece and against the bolt body. So what you do is you slide it over top of that, and then it fits in the sleeved part where the firing pin is as well too. So it slides on just like so, and it goes just like that in there. So once you have it in there, you're ready to put your bolt head in here as well too. So what you do is you put it down in there, rotate that a bit, and you pull this thing up into position. So there's your bolt fully assembled as it looks right there for you. That's how it should look whenever you have it fully assembled. Now the next part is another aspect of your bolt in order to fire your gun safely on here. Make sure the round doesn't blow up in your face. Right here I have the field, they call the field gauge for your firing pin. It basically measures how far the firing pin sticks out of the bolt head on here. They have two gauges on it. It's a 75 and a 95 thousandths. Basically, what this translates into, you can see right here, it has small markings right here. The one's 75 and the other one's 95. They have a stepped part. You have to put that stepped part into your ring on top of your bolt right here. It has the triangle with the flex there. That's the Easy logo as well too. So in order to see if your firing pin is through the hole enough, basically these are a high and a low setting. It has to rub on a low setting. That's a minimum spec for the firing pin to protrude from the bolt head on here. So I'll cock it back like it's in a cocked position. We can test the gauge on here. So right now it's in the fired position as it would be whenever you're firing a round. So in order to test out to see if it's in the OK range, you take your thing in your one hand, your bolt in the other hand, and basically what you do is you push it down into the notches right here, and you line them up. And on the 75, the minimum head space it needs for the firing pin to come out of the bolt head right there is 75. So it should rub against the 75 lower part, and it is rubbing. It's working fine right there for it. So the minimum space is good. Because whenever you fire around, your firing pin goes into the primer, and you have to have a minimum spacing where it goes in that primer to ignite the cartridges, not the ammunition, the powder. So you have to have a minimum spacing to do that. If the spacing is too much, you can pop the primer, and you can have some of that gas blow back, possibly through the receiver, and possibly damage the receiver or warp it or crack, or possibly have it blow up in your face. So you have to have a minimum right there for that. So you put that down inside here. It has 1, 2, 3, 4. It has 4 notches. You want to take the first and the third notch. You want to push it straight down on here to check the minimum gapping for it. So the minimum, the middle, I should say that the second notch is a 75, and that should fit right onto the firing pin, and it's hitting against there, so its head space is good to go for that, for the where it's contacting the primer. And the next one is the 95. So to check the 95, you do the same thing with the 75, except you move it over one space over. So you take the outside one right here, so it's outside of the bolt head, and the middle one will be the 95 gauge. So it's sliding underneath there, so the maximum is good for that as well too. So it's right in there, right in the marks, perfect. So that's basically how you measure your firing pin gap right there, so it doesn't blow up or doesn't cause any problems, malfunction with your ammunition. And okay, the next part of my video here is ammunition for like a Mauser, ammunition, like a K98K or the Yugo Mauser. I have a couple of Yugo Mausers myself, and I basically use surplus, or if not surplus available, I use the brand new ammunition as well. And they basically have 2 or 3 different types of surplus ammunition out there. You can buy the mil spec surplus ammunition, or you can buy brand new production right here. So this is a brand new production right here. This is the 8mm Mauser match high performance ammunition. It's full metal jacket, boat tail, 200 grain ammunitions. So that's basically the top of the line right here. If you want to go target shooting or personal defense shooting, this stuff's high grade stuff right here. And right below that, I'd say it would be like the surplus Yugoslavian ammunition, which is this stuff right here. It comes in a white block. You'll say a 15 come on the front on here. It's in Yugoslavian. It'll say 7.9mm cartridge. And it'll say sniper round. It'll say M75 sniper cartridge, and it'll say down here NY92 992 02, and that's basically when it was made, and it was 1999. So I'll show you what this stuff looks like, and I'll show you the other stuff looks like as well too. Let me get this box open here and see what this looks like. And here we go. Here's a 1992. I believe this stuff's non-corrosive, but I treat it as corrosive. So this is what it looks like. It's brass cased, full metal jacket. It has a annealed casing on here. They put annealing on here, so because whenever you load a gun, the place where the actual casing may break is up on the shoulder right here, and you can see that on the back here. You have your primer on there as well. It says NNY. It's basically PPU. PPU makes the new production right here. It's made in, I believe, Serbia on here for that. And the same mark. This is 1999, and it has blue around the primer as well on the bottom. So that's your full metal jacket, boat tail right there. I think it's 196 grain ammunition, I believe here. It's meant for the sniper M75 sniper gun. And the next type of surplus ammunition is old surplus. This comes in a little brown box right here. Basically the same stuff as the white stuff, except it's brown. And this stuff is 1950, I believe here, 1950 round ammunition. And I'll show you what this stuff looks like here as well too. Let me get it open here. This stuff's good too, even though it is corrosive and it is old stock. So you can always shake it and see there's stuff still in there for that. So this is 1950, made of factory 11, and has a star in the back right here. This does not have a annealed case. It is brass cased, however, and I believe it's a full metal jacket, boat tail bullet as well too. So you have a real good round either way. So those are two surplus rounds that are currently on market right there. And the last one is the new production ammunition, which is probably the cream of the crop. Outside of like Lupa ammunition, was made in Finland. It's probably the best ammunition you can buy for any type of target shooting or whatnot, stuff like that. This is the brand new production ammunition right here. It's PPU Mauser 8mm. It says right in the back of the head stamp on here. It's basically made by the same factory that makes the other ammunition rounds as well too. It's they just put different logo on the back. And this casing is also annealed. You can see right here the color variance between the copper, or I should say the brass cased on here for that, so the neck doesn't blow up or break on you when you're shooting rounds. And they come in these nice little white boxes you can see right here. This is probably the best of the best for self-defense, target shooting, hunting, stuff like that out there. This is the, like I said before, the match, 8mm match grade ammunition, PPU, full metal jacket, bow tail, 200 grain, so you get a pretty big bullet, and it will perform very well for you as well too. So if anybody has any questions regarding the ammunition that I got here in front of me, the three variances, the white box, sniper round, the old box from the old surplus, or the new production around here as well, or if you have any questions how to take apart your bolt here with a firing pin, how to check the firing pin's headspace where it goes out from the bolt head right here as well too. You can also email me here if you want to, or you can simply leave a detailed message on my page here as well if you have any questions regarding any type of like cone block firearm, because I do have schematics and I do have some basic information on most guns like that. And I'll probably be making some more videos probably later this week because it's Christmas anyway. So Merry Christmas everybody out there right now, and hopefully you have a safe Christmas or the next couple days, and nobody goes out and gets drunk and stuff like that. So I'll